An energetic crowd here in the women's building on this Friday night as Louisville takes set 1, 25-17. Nico Horning, Layla Rogers here with you on ACC Network Extra. And you can see the discrepancies there. Louisville with a 450 hitting percentage right away in the opening set.
That's a big difference compared to Syracuse's 133. They have to be able to pick that up. Kills is so important to be able to score points for your team and just be able to win. And Louisville's doing a great job with being consistent and picking up those kills for their team.
Speaking of winning, that's something that Syracuse did a couple of weeks ago against Virginia Tech, their first ACC win in quite a while after a 12-0 non-conference start to the year.
That game itself was so fun working and being in the women's building, Nico. They were so excited. The fans were excited, and they did a great job with keeping that energy throughout all 5 sets, and that's one thing they struggled with. But with Virginia Tech, what made them so successful is they kept that energy, kept their composure, and did what they had to do on their side.
31 conference losses before that. It was finally snapped a couple of weeks ago, and Syracuse trying to take that momentum into the rest of the season. Look, if you think about the schedule remaining for the Orange after this game tonight, they play a lot of bottom half of the ACC squads, and it could be a good run for SU to try and finish up this 2024 season. Getting you set for set 2 here in the women's building. Louisville already ready to go, and Syracuse just breaks out. What's going to be most important to set the tone for the Orange here in the second set?
Honestly, I think serving tough. Serving tough and getting aces, it puts teams out of position and out of system as well to not be able to set their go-to attackers. And if you get a team out of system, they're not going to have those tight sets on the net, perfectly set balls to score. So Syracuse needs to lock in on that, I think, for this set.
And that's been one of the goals from Coach Gana-Schrottnum coming into this game was the serves. As a good dig by George a minute ago. Syracuse a chance to get going in set 2. A good dig by Scott. Cabello there as well. Searzant. And Harris Waddy, boy, an all-out diving effort by Scott, but it wasn't enough, and Syracuse takes the lead here on the opening point.
That was a great attempt by Scott. She's a great libero. She's always on the court, but she just wasn't able to get to it. Harris Waddy does a great job behind the setter as well and using those hands to score.
Schlichter to send it off. And Elena Scott with the dig, or rather the receive. And Schlichter couldn't handle it. Boy, Elena Scott, one of the most decorated active liberos in the NCAA, has 3 ACC Defensive Player of the Week awards this year. And she's the reigning Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC. Just one of the best in college volleyball.
Those accolades right there says a lot about who she is and who Louisville is as a team. One
of the rocks for the Cardinals squad as we're in a tied game, but Syracuse tries to get it back over. They do, and that's back-to-back leads for the Cuse. 2-1. Sometimes it's not the strongest play that you make in volleyball. Sometimes it's just the smartest, and that's something you brought up a bit earlier, Layla.
Yeah, using hands. I always try to emphasize that. When you're able to use a blocker's hands and swipe off of them or hit over top of them, it's amazing, honestly, because you could be successful. It's not always about trying to hit around, but you could hit through and use them to score as well.
And that's a service error from Maldonado Diaz. Her first of the night. Louisville's 4th as a team. And it's a 3-2 Syracuse lead here in the second set with Ava Palm to send it off. DeBeer with the receive. Good dig by the diving Schlichter. Not much you can do about Cressy's size up front in the middle. Good kill by her.
I mean, she is one of the best in the country, and wow, that dive is amazing. She did not give up on that play, and she was able to get it back to her teammates to put it over the net. But unfortunately, Cressy, being the great hitter she is, scored on that point.
Syracuse playing well. Louisville just doing a nice job of staying true to their game. What a dig by Scott. Boy, she's been incredible tonight. Talk about pounding it down. That's what Louisville's done quite a bit tonight.
Looper does a great job with seeing that spot, that hard cross shot on the court is available, because even though liberos are there, it's hard to get to when you're on the left side of that libero's shoulder.
DeBeer with the ace after Looper had her second kill of the night. Looper coming off a 12-kill performance last Saturday in a win over Notre Dame. It was a home-and-home series for Louisville and Notre Dame. Cardinals swept both. And now Harris Waddy gets into the party.
She is pumped. Look at her. The way she just jumped up in excitement. She is doing a really good job with being available. I mean, setters are looking for her on the court to find her, to make things happen. She has become a go-to player for the Orange. 5
kills for Harris Waddy. And she now has 5 or more kills in 7 of the last 8 matches for Syracuse, but a response from Robbins and Louisville.
I feel like that's one thing that you will forever want to brag about, Nico. Like, I got this certain amount of kills against a number 4 ranked team, you know?
It's got to be much more than the individual. It's got to be a team effort. And Syracuse as a squad has really looked solid tonight. Down by 2, now 3, as Louisville picks up the point. And Elena Scott goes back to send it away. You know, there's one difference that Louisville's had to face this year, and that is serving in big arenas and big buildings, and then you come to a building like this in Syracuse where the building is a lot smaller and more compact, as Elena Scott picks up the service error there. It plays with your vision a lot from the service line, because you could be in an arena and think you got to pound it a really far distance, but then you have to tone it down a little bit in these small buildings when really it's the same distance on the court.
I know, locations really do matter. I mean, we've heard from other coaches in the ACC how different buildings really play a factor in how the teams play, whether that's lighting or whether that's more court space, whether that's the amount of fans that can be in there. So 100%, Nico, I agree.
Gonna look at that last point, and it goes off the top of the tape. Nonetheless, it was awarded to Syracuse, and now Louisville responds. You know, it's something that we haven't really seen much of tonight, or longer rallies so far. A lot of these points have been pretty quick, and both sides have done a nice job of adjusting very quickly, but we haven't seen that really long rally yet tonight.
No, we haven't. I feel like when it comes to rallies, that comes to great defense as well, and most balls have just been going down with no defenders being able to get under them, so long rally will not be shown a lot of times.
Well, Syracuse down 2. Kolnikova with the attempt. Cabello over to Looper. And Looper with her 3rd kill. Charity Looper, since transferring from UCLA last year, has just been an immense part for Louisville. Voted the best outside hitter for this year. Kolnikova gets the Orange going, and that's a kill for the tallest player on SU.
Kolnikova behind the setter, she is so great at seeing the court and where to hit, and her swing is also just so powerful.
Very quick, too, it seems like.
I think she does better behind the setter than in front of, and I think she's more comfortable behind the setter as well. She does a great job.
Looper couldn't handle, and Syracuse with the ace. Job by Skylar George. Layla, Syracuse is down 1 to the 4th best team in the country. What's it going to take to sustain that?
The same things they're doing now. Tough serving. Remember how I said early in the beginning, when you have tough serves against a team like this, you're getting them out of system, and then also being able to ace them. Syracuse is doing a great job with keeping that up on their side.
Palm sends that too far. And Louisville quiets things down once again here in the women's building. It's 10-8 Louisville here in set 2. Syracuse really a good showing in set 1 as well. Louisville won 25-17. Here's Looper. And DeBeer takes advantage of the dig that was too far from George.
Those overpass kills, those are freebies right there.
Anna DeBeer playing with a lot more maybe fun and joy, a little bit less loose now that Louisville's lost its first ACC game of the year. Again, that was against Pitt a couple of weeks ago. Just an incredible game, back and forth, and went 5 sets. Palm floats it. Syracuse trying again for that soft touch. Didn't work that time. Sears-Ant goes behind to Nicole Nikova. Again, goes soft. And now Louisville has to go run it down. That was Looper. Another free ball for Syracuse. Sears-Ant to Nicole Nikova again, and it works.
It's such a quick attack. It's almost like, what do you do with that? And for the blockers, you have to see where Nicole Nikova is going, what her arm swing is doing to stop her hardest shot.
Syracuse might have found something with Nicole Nikova and her usage in this game. Orange are down 2 with Schlichter's serve coming up. All right, Schlichter with the dig. Now Palm. And that goes off the hands of Schlichter, who tried to save it. Good job by the front court of Louisville to stay on it.
It's just great positioning right there and great hands, seeing where that attack is going to go. Louisville's known for their block, Nico, and they show us time after time why they are ranked high in blocking.
Maldonado Diaz and Sherman in there on that last point for Louisville. Again, Syracuse goes with the soft touch. Not doing a whole lot with it, not pounding it down. They're just using their IQ to their advantage, and Ava Palm picks up another kill for Syracuse.
Right over the attacker, the blocker's hands. You can see De Beers looking like, whoa.
And you know Syracuse is playing well when their kill leader, Ava Palm, just picked up #1 tonight. But Maldonado Diaz slams it down for Louisville after that point for Syracuse. So it's now a 3-point Louisville lead. But how about the Orange? Ava Palm just picked up her first kill, and it's here in the second set. That shows how much the other players are showing up tonight for Syracuse so far.
Oh yeah, I mean, you mentioned it before, when you have a team where has multiple players who can do a lot for the team when one person is down. Syracuse is exactly that right now. Ava Palm, she's not having her best night at the moment, but we have other people like Harris Waddy, Nicole Nikova, and George picking up that slack at the moment.
George leading the way with 4 kills for Syracuse. Now the Orange back down by 4. Hey, maybe that film scouting that Louisville uses with the top outside hitters on the other side is working so far tonight. But there's the second kill of the game from Ava Palm. So Maldonado Diaz exits, Cabello also out of the game. Ellie Glock enters. Glock. And a kill by De Beer. Anna De Beer so succinct in her swing, and she adds a kill right there for the Cardinals. De Beer's got kill #8, and Louisville has a 4-point lead here in the women's building.